Oh my God, Jody. I can't even tell you. You would not believe.
What?
God is punishing me.
For what?
So I ran out for like 20 minutes to like grab bagels and shit for breakfast,
Yeah.
and fire trucks blocking Stone Canyon. I've been sitting there for 30 minutes. They said to actually drive down to pick me up, and I walked so I could get home for this. My car is 2 miles down the road.
Oh, you are kidding.
No. I was like, am I doing this from the car on like my phone, or is it actually coming to get me? I was like, fuck me.
Oh my God. And of course, like she's got a bundle Simon in the car and bundle Heavy in the car.
No, I have nobody. It was just me, thank God.
Oh my
And the nanny's
God.
here with
Oh
the
my
kids. But I was like, oh
God.
my God, I'm nothing like that.
Oh, thank God. Oh,
Oh,
that's a
well, I'm
moment
just
of
telling
panic.
Jody
I would
my
have
top
been,
story, which is that I ran out to grab food for breakfast. And on the way back, it's a narrow canyon road. There was a fire at a house. So there were like 9 fire trucks blocking the street. So I was sitting there for 30 minutes, couldn't move.
oh,
Finally, I parked my car on the side of the road. I had to actually drive down the canyon to pick me up on the other side of the fire trucks.
oh my God.
That sounds horrible.
Hey, everybody. Let me
Hi.
pull up
I
this
thought
thing.
I was a little on edge when I couldn't get in.
Oh, and that's because yeah.
I don't know if you want to make me a co-host or something so
I
I
am
could talk to
happy to. Oh, I
somebody.
forgot. Yeah, you're like our person. I'll make you a co-host. I'll
I'm
make
your I'm your
Lila.
moderator for the afternoon.
Make Lila one.
Oh,
I think there
great.
was some issue. Don said he couldn't make Lila.
I
Hmm.
oh
Look at
yeah,
that virtual background, Lila. Very fancy.
so fancy.
Wait, I'm trying to pick a few.
You know what's funny, Jody? I found another error as watching services, not your error, that I didn't see before, which was a Lisa Talit challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
And
There
then,
was
but
that.
here's what drove me crazy was not that
Yes,
it wasn't the same. What drove me crazy was that thinking back, I couldn't figure out why it wasn't the same because we shot it like,
yes. Because there was some sort of error in in the audio for one. I can't remember if it was Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur for one of the prayers.
huh?
So Damien stole the
He stole from a different service.
from
Got
the
it.
different
Got it.
service because it was thankfully there was it was a service where people where she had already sung it, thankfully. So but Lisa's like, oh my God, it's driving me crazy. It's white
Okay.
Talit, it's color Talit, it's white Talit.
I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Jody, can I, both of you, I have to vent for a second. Jody, you will appreciate this. I did 2 weddings this weekend, one Friday, one Saturday.
Oh wow.
And the Friday wedding, Canadians, Jody, which by
Oh,
the way, how you refer to Persian American Jews when you don't want to talk about
Oh,
them, they're around. You call them Canadians as opposed to Jody, who's actually Canadian.
yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say, do you want to actually like go
so this was supposed to be 20 people at the temple, and
oh,
then they moved it back to their original venue in Malibu. And they told me it was still, Rabbi, it's 25 people. Jody knows what I'm going to say, right?
oh God.
Jody, what is 25 people for a Persian family?
I mean 400.
Yeah. So it was only 90.
Oh
And Jody, it was as if it was a year ago. No social
there? Wow.
distance, no masks, no nothing.
Where was it?
At a venue in Malibu near Pepperdine on the ocean. I was like, I'm just staying 20 feet away from all you people. You're out of your minds.
Is that the one you wore the face shield for?
So I did, and then I did for the one Saturday too, which was totally appropriate which is in Santa Barbara. It was totally appropriate. I did the face shield because I felt like under the chuppah, like I wore the mask, and then I talked to Corey about it, right before the ceremony, I took the mask off and just wore the face shield,
yeah,
which doesn't protect them as much, but
yeah,
protect me. Because I felt like I wanted to see that, like I just the
yeah.
under the chuppah in their pictures, like and stuff. So, and then I put it right back on after. But
Yeah.
yes, that was why. But this one Friday was like it was like a wedding a year
I'm
ago.
surprised they kept it to 90. I'm shocked.
I'm surprised. Well, Corey said he's like, I'm surprised the venue let them do it.
Yeah.
Like the hotel in Santa
But
Barbara,
was it
we
inside?
opened up a cocktail hour because that's unmasked and not seated. Dinner is fine because you're stationary, unmasked in your
Yeah.
pods.
Yeah.
Cocktail hour, you're mingling around. Who knows who you're with?
Oh my
Unmasked.
God.
So, Jody, are these only on Zoom? Or are we broadcasting them or only on Zoom?
I think they're only on Zoom, and then we're recording them, I think, and then sharing them afterwards. That reminds me, I should
We're being
record.
recorded right now, so hopefully we haven't said anything untoward.
Uh, is it
So,
recording?
Yes.
it is.
Okay,
How do you
great.
want to start? I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure. Are
I'm
you
going to
gonna
start.
cue it up?
I'm going to
Okay.
start. I'm going to do a little thing about today's Haftarah because that Susan spoke about during the service because I think it perfectly tees this up. And
Yeah.
then I'm going to pitch it to you.
All right.
And
With a
then
question.
you go until you're
Yeah,
done,
ask
and then we'll
questions
do
when
some
you're.
questions maybe. And, we only have a
Yeah.
half hour, so.
Oh, I thought it was an hour. Okay,
No, it's 30 minutes, so it's
got
not,
it.
tons of time. I like that background. That's good.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I was
Hey,
there
Jody, I
today,
found out
guys.
the other continuity thing, Jody, I noticed on Rosh Hashanah, which I'd never thought about, because this is like my thing,
Yeah.
was the Erev services, the light, the sun through the stained glass windows.
Yeah, I thought of that too.
But I'm sure
Actually,
you
it
heard
was
this.
so funny because
The-
I forget which one. I think it was an evening. It was an evening service, but I can't remember. It was I think it was Kol Nidre. Um, Don Gurney said, "Oh, let's take that outdoor shot, the
Oh,
drone
no,
shot of the
Don,
building."
no.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's bright daytime, and this is supposed to be 7
I
p.m."
have to
So
say, I thought that, I'm sure you've heard this from others, that obviously folks had their own challenges with Erev Rosh Hashanah, but last night and today just looked so good.
yeah, they really, really
So,
killed it. Oh my
I mean,
God.
Ashley said to me, did a different crew shoot this? I said, no, we just learned,
We
as
had more
time.
time, and we had more time for editing, and
Yes.
so they did a lot of like stabilization work. And
As you have said many times, God forbid, but if we have to do this next year, it's going to be
oh,
amazing.
oh my God, if we have to do this next year, now that I'm an accomplished director, I know exactly
Assistant
what we're gonna
director.
do.
Exactly.
I know exactly how we're gonna shoot it. We're gonna shoot it way earlier. There's a ton.
All right. Are you gonna let people in?
Yeah, and
Yep,
just say,
I'm ready.
Jody, out of curiosity, have you watched anybody else's stuff?
I watched a tiny bit of Joel, like
No, I mean I mean other synagogues stuff.
yes, I last night after watching our Kol Nidre service about 27 times, I
Yeah.
watched Sinai,
Yeah.
and
Oh
they
my
had
God, that angle, I only watched them on Roche. That angle from the Amud, up David's nose, I'm like,
yeah,
what?
yeah, and then
And
we
does
watched
he
the
really
little
not give a sermon
video.
on Erev?
I he gave a sermon last night. Yeah, Wolpe gave a
Oh,
sermon.
but on Erev Rosh Hashanah, he spoke for 2 minutes and was not good.
No, last night it was amazing, and
Okay,
then today he did this weird like Yom Kippur appeal
thing.
and also sermon mashup. It was a little. My
Oh,
mother
so
called me and she was like, "That was weird," but last night's sermon was brilliant. Anyway, it's 3:02, so I'm gonna
yeah.
let people in.
All right, letting them all in. Don Weiss.
Aw.
All right, hey everybody. So wonderful to see you all. I was commenting to Ashley earlier today when she was asking me what kind of weird experience is this for you? And weird is the best way to describe it. And I would say weirder than last week was, I think, just because it's Yom Kippur. I said what I honestly missed most is just being with all of you and being, I frequently say that I think the High Holy Days in many ways are all of us at the temple at our very best because the campus is just filled with so many people, all day long in this service and that service and bustling and hustling in the hallways and the parking lot and classes and movies and discussions and all of it. And I think I'm just reminded of how much I love that and how much I miss that. So this is a little, virtual taste of that. So thank you all for spending a little bit of time with us this afternoon. And I was thinking this morning as I was, like all of us, watching the service and listening to Rabbi Nanis give her beautiful drash, as it were, on today's Haftarah from the book of Isaiah. And the Haftarah, I would say the most poignant piece of the Haftarah from this morning's I'm just letting a few more people in. Jody, are you able to let people in from the waiting room? Great, so I don't have to worry about it. So the most poignant piece, I think, of the Haftarah that we read this morning was read all over the world by Jews this morning from Isaiah. To set it up is this idea that the people are sort of bemoaning that they're fasting and that the fast doesn't change anything. And Isaiah's response is that, yeah, you fast, as Rabbi Nanas taught us this morning, you fast, but your intention is not there. And you go on about your business and you check your email and you're doing everything else. So you're paying lip service, as it were, to the commandment. And then Isaiah instructs us, and I'm going to quote and read from the Haftarah now, cry with full throat, without restraint. Raise your voice like a ram's horn. Declare to my people their transgression, to the house of Jacob their sin, to be sure they seek me daily, eager to learn my ways, like a nation that does what is right. Why, when we fasted, did you not see? When we starved our bodies, did you pay no heed? Because on your fast day you see to your business and oppress all your laborers. Because you fast in strife and contention, and you strike with a wicked fist. Your fasting today is not such as to make your voice heard on high. Is this the fast I declare? A day for men to starve their bodies? It is bowing the heads like a bulrush and laying in sackcloth and ashes. Do you call that a fast? A day when the Lord is favorable? No, this is the fast I desire. To unlock the fetters of wickedness, to untie the cords of the yoke of the oppressed, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. It is to share your bread with the hungry and to take the wretched poor into your home. Then shall your light burst through like the dawn, and your healing spring up quickly. Your vindicator shall march before you. The presence of God shall be your guard. And so I think about this Haftarah, which historically, the Reform movement actually used to champion all the values and ideals that we think of today as being so much a piece of Tikkun Olam work, right? That it is not enough to simply pay lip service to taking care of those who are in need. We actually have to do the work. And it's one of the reasons that Reform Judaism frequently gets referred to as prophetic Judaism, is that it comes straight out of the prophet's call to action. And I read that and was listening to Rabbi Nanas talk about it this morning, and I thought, it's so beautiful because that's exactly what we do every single day at the Karsh Center. And it's what we do, I think, without really grandstanding and without really calling a lot of our attention to ourselves. There's a beautiful piece of Talmud, it's also from the Mishnah, that says, say little, do much. And I often think that sort of exemplifies what we do at Karsh. We just do the work, and we just take care of the people that need taken care of. And if we get credit for it, great. And if we don't, who cares? Because that's not what it's about. And as some may know, but some may not know, we've been doing that without interruption since March. So many businesses, so many social service providers, had to close their doors, and we haven't. We've changed what we've done. We've changed how we do what we do, but we have felt that our commitment to the folks in our community and the families in our neighborhood who need it so much matters, and that to in essence abandon them when they need it most, when times are so tough, would be negligence. And so I'm thrilled that Lila Guirguis, the executive director of the Karsh Family Social Service Center, is with us today. And our plan is really just for Lila to share with all of us a little bit about, give us a window into what the last 6, almost 7 months now at Karsh have looked like, what we've encountered, how we've been able to kind of respond to the needs that our families and clients have faced in the midst of COVID. And then we'll take some questions, because I'm sure there are some. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for making time on a Monday afternoon to be with us.
Absolutely.
I'm going to turn it over to you.
Sure.
And I'm
Well,
going to figure out if I can use technology, how to spotlight you. Here we go. Look at that.
oh, okay, there you go. So thank you so much. It's nice to see so many familiar faces, and those that I've seen that are volunteering at the Karsh Center, and those I've seen recently. So it's been quite a whirlwind, and I would say very, very quickly we had to decide right after the stay-at-home order was enacted around what to do. We knew all of our collaborators and many of our programs that were in-person groups had to just cease to happen. And it was probably, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Bo, I think it was the first time maybe in 31 years that we skipped one Sunday.
Yep.
And it was that Sunday right after the stay-at-home order, because we just couldn't quite, decide how were we going to provide Sunday food pantry. But I am proud to say that as of March 17th, and I remember because I think it was St. Patrick's Day, and it was, there was a lot going on, and we said, okay, we're going to open, and we're going to do what it is that we have control over, and that was diaper distribution and giving food. We had a lot of people calling us, and we were answering the phones. All of the staff at that time just decided what was safest was that we were going to take on the Sunday food pantry operations. And so I hats off to all the food pantry coordinators, because for us, it was a bit of a learning curve. And we had to really decide, okay, well, how are we going to greet people and do this safely? I think I looked at photos just this past weekend of, what it was like early on in this, where we weren't wearing masks, people weren't wearing masks, and then just quickly how we shifted, how we really thought about our operations when so many people were just really hunkered down at home. We had many of our collaborators asking us and calling us for food. And we knew at that time our mobile food pantry services, which we have, volunteers come in, pack bags, and then hand deliver 50 bags of groceries every week to those that are in low income housing. That just couldn't happen. And so one of the benefits of having such a strong collaboration with so many organizations is that they actually decided to come to us and say, you pack the bags, we'll go deliver. And that just grew. At one point, we were giving out almost 400 bags per week. And and we just saw staff members from all of these other organizations come in and hand deliver to the elderly, to those who had children with special needs, who just were afraid to really leave their home and were very unsure. And at that time, so many things, as I'm sure most of you can remember, we couldn't find toilet paper, we couldn't find home goods or anything like that. All of that we got donations of, and we were so lucky that we were able to provide some of these essential goods also to so many families in need. Diapers, especially at the time, they were selling out. We couldn't even buy them in bulk, even if we wanted to, from places like Costco or Walmart. And so just people kept dropping them off and providing them in just hundreds. And so we found we were incredibly lucky, even started to really, the other beautiful thing is that we saw many families who were quarantining together come in and actually provide 2.5 to 3 hours worth of volunteering and packing almost 100 to 200 bags at a time. And so we just started to be, this became a regular routine. We had to be comfortable with things not working, with changing our routine, and we had to be okay with the unknown. And I'm proud to say from March 17th to September 25th, we've provided 103,000 meals and over 104,000 diapers. So we feel really, really proud of that. We feel that we could not have done it without the Wilshire Boulevard Temple congregants, the volunteers, you who were willing to really work with us to go into this unknown territory and be okay with operations changing from week to week. And then all of the incredible donations and in-kind donations that just we were so blessed with. And so I am happy to say that as of next week, our vision services are going to come back. In 2 weeks, our dental services are going to come back. Our board of directors have established a committee that is, working with the temple and creating good safety guidelines. So we have, a lot of these safety measures in place, and we feel that, we're going to operate as best we can, but again, taking it one day at a time.
Lila, I'll kind of ask a question, I guess, which is to say, let me see if I can figure how to unpin. Here we go. Forgive my technical nuance here. Do we have a sense yet, and how do you anticipate demand kind of from here on out? Do you see us, having to maintain the current level of support? Do you think it's going to get greater? Do you think it's, are we going to need to sustain this level for a while?
I do. I think we are prepared for what we anticipate will be a tricky flu season. I think as children may or may not go back to school, I think that we continue to see that food insecurity is still a high need for many of our clients. Also, people are not getting back to stable work as much as as it pre-pandemic. So many of our families are still out of work or are in temporary types of assignments, and so what's difficult is really being able to provide for their families. And so that economy piece, I think, is slow coming back. And so we continue to find that providing the bag of food, providing the diapers, answering the phones is still a way that we can be a safety net within the community. So for example, when we're on the phone, we're not just asking questions about, do you need, diapers or food? Really, it's how are you? How's your family? How are things? Do you need anything? Because we are connected to a broader network of service providers. And that's an important component, connecting whether it's to legal services or Jewish free loan, or being able to connect folks in ways that we may not be delivering that particular service, but we certainly have the connections to all of those collaborators. And so that's just a huge and important piece of our work.
It's so true, and it highlights. It's interesting. It makes me think about one of the themes. So some of the folks who are with us today, I know, have been with me on Tuesdays at 11 for Tikkun Olam Tuesdays, where we've been having conversations since March with the folks who run many of our collaborating organizations at Karsh, talking about what they're seeing at Karsh and elsewhere in their service delivery. And the two, I think, themes that have come up over and over and over again in our conversations. One is that, this whole experience of pandemic and quarantine and all the challenges affect the folks who are already challenged exponentially more than they affect us, right? The folks that were already in need, the folks that already, every day was hard. This makes it even harder. And two, the sense that, none of us really know, but that the economic impact of this entire pandemic has really yet to probably crescendo. And that, we talk about flattening the curve of the virus, but that the curve of the economic, effects of this are probably still yet to come. And that, again, those effects will disproportionately affect the folks that we serve at Karsh and the folks who are already in such need. And that's, I think that need will be absolutely, Lila, as you said, for unfortunately a very, very long time to come. I want to open it up for anybody who has questions. You can put one in the chat if that's most comfortable. You can do a virtual hand raise. You can do a real hand raise in person, and we'll try to sort of answer your questions and kind of have a robust discussion conversation here, kind of about what we're doing and what we're seeing and what we can do to help.
Yeah, and I'd also like to just share that what has been really wonderful has been also the other collaborators. So we have, for the past 4 years, we've been doing collaborator breakfasts on a quarterly basis. So I know you attend those, and so we really did pivot and say we needed to continue to connect, and so we are now connecting virtually twice every 2 months. So a little bit more often. On our website, we now have up and running a collaborator portal. So this is a way for flyers and resources and people to connect. We need volunteers, or we're going to be doing this, or we have a question. And so we really, are trying to find different virtual ways to connect. Although it's obviously not the same as if we were in person. But many of our collaborators are experiencing burnout because, like I said, so many of their staff in the very beginning came, picked up groceries, and then took them and hand delivered them, and for months and months on end. And so we are seeing a lot of burnout of some of the staff of our organization. But I am proud to say, and please be on the lookout, we are doing Big Give this year. And we're doing it in a different way. And we're going to be providing 500 more bags, so 1,500 bags this year. But we're calling it the week-long Big Give, because we're going to have bag packing happen over maybe 3 days, and then distribution of the bag happen over another 3 days. So again, this creativity, having to think outside the box is really what is critical right now. And we couldn't not do Big Give. So this is our 12th year, I think, Bo, doing Big Give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. Yeah.
Yes.
Lila and Bo, do you see there's a question in the chat?
I do. I see a question in the chat which asks, what are the protocols and the best ways that families can volunteer if they want to make food at home? Is that possible, and can they do that to drop off for us?
Don't know if we're quite there, because we are a food bank and food pantry of LA Regional Food Bank, and so there's a little bit of guidelines that we have to follow, and so we haven't been able to take food that is made in the homes of individuals. What we have been able to do is there are restaurants that have actually made some soups that we've been able to provide. They've freeze them, and they make them sort of in a restaurant, that obviously their own kitchens. But as of home, we haven't been able to do that just yet.
Just to pivot, right, because we're not, just for folks know, for the most part in the business of distributing prepared foods. Mm-hmm. But a question, Lila, do we have, and we may not, because I know it changes, from sometimes month to month or week to week even. Do we have a need for any donated grocery items, canned goods, rice, pasta, what may be, to kind of supplement our supply given the increased demand that people, if they so choose, can shop for and donate?
Yeah, I think white rice always is something that goes fast and not in the big bulk, because again, we can't, separate that out. I think that as I was looking at our, Big Give list of items, where we're having to do packaged mashed potatoes and purchase all of those and all the pies, I mean, there's going to be a huge need for that kind of food coming up, especially for the Big Give. Mm-hmm. But I would say white rice, pasta, those are the things that we run out the most, and bottled water for many of our clients who are experiencing homelessness.
I'm going to echo, Lila, what you said about the surfing. So I'm two just shameless plugs. One is that the serving size thing, which I remember, many years ago, we have a temple member who was so sweet. We did a whole campaign for peanut butter and tuna, and she was amazing. And she went to Costco and she bought these like 4-gallon commercial tins of tuna and delivered 50 of them to the temple. And I said, I'm so sorry, we can't use this because I'm not going to give somebody,
I know.
20-pound thing of tuna. And so single serving sizes, what you'd buy at home, obviously is most beneficial to us, even though bigger seems better. The other thing I will say, as a little bit of a shameless plug, and we're obviously not raising money today. It's not, what we do on Yom Kippur, the high holidays at all. But I will say, I know that lots of folks really, it's meaningful to actually go shop or donate tangible food items. But I will say that that's not always what is of most use to us for two reasons. One is storage issues and simply managing our space. And two, one of the reasons that dollars have a greater utility to us sometimes than donated food is that your dollar goes exponentially further in our pocket than it does in yours. Your $20, buys you at best, let's say, I don't know, 8 cans of tuna. Your $20 in my pocket or in Lila's pocket, in our pocket, buys 12, 15, 20 cans of tuna, because we are accessing, first of all, bulk, wholesale, lanes of distribution and provision that is not Ralph's and is not wherever. And so while I know that sometimes, the financial donation is not necessarily what someone wants to do, and I completely understand that, it does frequently have far more bang for your buck, to put it, simply, than going to Ralph's and buying a couple cans of tuna or a couple bags of rice and giving it to us. So, that's my plug. Yes, Lila.
I know we've gotten some questions, I think from Anne about the environmental approach to water. There are actually water in these almost juice box-like. There's water boxes now, which are really environmentally friendly, and we've gotten donations of those. Those are great. And Janet, I know you asked about mental health services, and actually, one thing that we are getting ready to do is open up our mental health suite for Southern California Counseling Center clients who have no technology at home and who have no privacy. They are coming in, they will be coming into the center and having their mental health Zoom telehealth appointments in our mental health suite. So because, we really are at the mercy of so many of our collaborators feeling ready and having kind of the proper, green light from their own board of trustees. These are the other, innovative ways that we're thinking about how could we use the space in, in the center. We are already cleaning. We are already, screening people. We got a donation most recently from CARE of a thermal scanner. So really, being able to, have people come in safely. We have donations of masks. Those are always in need. And I would say that, Merle, your question around diapers, anything else, I know that we might be putting out a call pretty soon for hygiene kits. We've been getting, I see Maggie nodding, we get people asking for hygiene kits. As we go into winter, we will need socks, really practical things. Hygiene kits could be geared towards women or men. Feminine hygiene products always really very, very important to us. Let me see, did I miss any other kind of questions? Oh, Linda, you asked about educational distance learning effort. I think what we are experiencing is that one of our strongest partners, KYCC, so Koreatown Youth and Community Center, they have a pretty robust tutoring and after-school tutoring program. And that I know that Lizzie Green, so Elizabeth Green is our director of volunteer engagement at the Karsh Center, is working to get tutors. And so I think that those are, it's we're not necessarily doing kind of the tutoring, but tapping into those organizations that need tutors, and we can ask for volunteers who might be able to help.
I am conscious of the time, and I know I have colleagues who are up teaching, and with 2 minutes, Jody's giving me the high sign. Hygiene kits. Great question about hygiene kits. In terms of hygiene kits, in the next literally several days, you're going to get an email about a campaign for the next few weeks for hygiene kits. Analea, to your question, no, you can do this at home. Here's just a fun fact, and this is in what you're going to get in the emails in a few days, but if each member of the temple, each family who's a member of the temple, made 4 hygiene kits, just 4, we would have 10,000 hygiene kits to distribute. And in this era of COVID, and we're all washing our hands a million times a day, think about the folks who can't, because they don't have a bar of soap or a bottle of Purell or what have you. And so we've made a commitment, and again, more about this coming in the coming days in your inbox, but we've made a commitment to our friends at the People Concern in Santa Monica, where we run one of our food pantry programs every Sunday, that we've continued to run and continued to support throughout all of this, despite the fact that our volunteers aren't there. We're still funding it. We're still making sure that our clients there get fed every week. There's a tremendous need for hygiene products there, as well as at Karsh. And so between now and Sukkot, we're really going to push hard for hygiene kits as kind of a temple-wide collection and drive. And we're going to have an opportunity on, I believe it's October 4th, to collect those. So just pay attention to your emails in the next couple days, and we'll be doing that. Any other questions? We're now right up against the time. So I'm going to make a quick plug for who's next. At 3:30, you can join Tom Teichholz, who's an amazing member of our temple. Tom is an award-winning journalist. He's the author of the coffee table book that hopefully everybody has, about the 150-year history of the temple that we published a few years ago. He's also the co-host of Culture Mavens with Rabbi Nanis, and he's going to be doing a kind of an in-depth deep dive on the murals, the Warner murals in the sanctuary done by Hugo Ballin, who was the art director, at Warner Brothers in the 1920s, about what those murals actually represent and what the story that they're actually telling. That's starting now, as well as a meditative opportunity with Rabbi Ben Naim, and then followed by some more programming at 4 and 4:30. And then hopefully we'll see everybody back together at 5 o'clock for our Yisker and the Ela service before we make Havdalah and then all break fast together. So thank you for making a little time this afternoon to join us. Lila, thank you so much. Jody, thank you for being here. And, as they say, Gamar Hatima Tova, may we all be inscribed really for another year of blessing, despite all the challenges that we face, another year of blessing in the Book of Life.
Bye-bye.